The Explorer II reference 16570 is an irrefutable classic. It is the Land Rover Defender of the watch world, a robust, reliable, and timeless companion of a watch for the aspiring explorer. And although the current generation Rolex reference 226570 in 42 brings with it modern technical improvements, there are those, including me, that wish we had bought the 16570 when the watch world was more along the lines of, oh, it's a Rolex, and not, oh, it's a Rolex. It's been almost 15 years since the 16570 was discontinued, but I still think it is one of the best Explorer IIs ever made. Here's why. Check out Swiss Connection watches for your next watch. Also, do consider subscribing as it really helps. Thank you. The Explorer II was released in 1970, complementing the relatively more basic Explorer I by offering extra features, mainly a GMT function and the fixed 24-hour bezel aimed at cave splunkers who would sometimes spend days exploring caves without being able to distinguish between day and night. This watch design solved that problem, making it an essential tool to carry for such expeditions. The reference 16570 came about in 1989 and remained in production for 22 years, offering two dial variants, this black and a polar white dial. Today, Rolex is still very much a classic tool watch manufacturer with clear emphasis on reliability and no-nonsense functionality. But with the brand constantly being elevated from premium to luxury status, the Explorer family remains unequivocally almost like the last enthusiast preferred collection within the brand. Like all Rolex watches, this reference comes in a proprietary Oystersteel case, also known as 904L stainless steel. With 40mm diameter, a lug-to-lug of 47, a lug width of 20, and a thickness of 12mm, giving this reference the Goldilocks proportions. You get a dome sapphire crystal, the iconic Rolex Cyclops over the date window, and a screw-down crown with 100 meters of water resistance. If you show this watch together with the current 226570 to a normal human being, they may not be able to tell them apart. But that's where we watch-obsessed psychos come in and give them a new purpose in life. You see, the 16570 is not just visually a smaller watch than the current 42mm version, but also differs heavily in both the technical and visual details. The applied indices are smaller, the GMT hand is in red instead of orange, the slimmer lugs, all of these give it more of a neo-vintage look, whereas the current reference looks and feels much more modern, and therefore a tad less understated. Now, none of these are positives or negatives, but just that these tiny supposed insignificant visual details do matter, allowing these watches to cater to different audiences. And I prefer this version. One, because I have small wrists, but also because I'm a sucker for neo-vintage watches, be it Tudor, Rolex, or Omega. The movement inside is the in-house automatic Calibre 3186. It has a beat frequency of 4 Hz, a modest 48 hours of power reserve, and comes with a traveler's GMT function, meaning that you can adjust your local time independently on the go. It comes with a parachrom hairspring for magnetic resistance and temperature fluctuations, making it highly robust and reliable even for its age. Rolex bracelets are known as the gold standard of bracelet construction, but that wasn't always the case. Here you get a stamped clasp with no on-the-fly micro-adjustment and hollow center links. Like I said, it's nowhere near perfect, but that's the charm that most new vintage watches provide. For the time they were built in, they perform as expected. So unless you're actually planning to climb Everest, this should get the job done, which is mainly being a badass legend of a watch that makes you smile every time you look at it. I cannot explain in any logical way, even to myself, why this is one of my favorite Explorer IIs. The new 226570 is big at 42mm, and even though I do own a couple of 42mm watches, I personally feel that for this style, this watch looks massively better in a smaller size. The subdued neo-vintage design perfectly encapsulates what I love about older Rolex. A reliable workhorse that has the looks to complement any outfit and any occasion without drawing attention to itself. I can live with the minor imperfections. Surely the Speedy Professional was nowhere near as solid as the current day Speedmaster Professional, but it got the job done, and that's what neo-vintage watches are all about. They're just a step away from being completely perfect. And I kind of like that. What do you think of this Rolex Explorer II 16570? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.